Imagine a dentist still treating patients at the age of 99, still sharp, still active, still growing his own food in a garden behind his home. This isn't a fable. In 2024, Dr. Etsuro Watanabe was officially recognized by Guinness World Records as the world's oldest practicing dentist. No extreme biohacking, no expensive supplement regimens, just consistent habits, real food, and a deep commitment to daily care. Dr. Watanabe is not an anomaly. Across Japan, researchers and dental professionals are unraveling something that Western medicine is only beginning to fully appreciate. The health of your mouth is a window into the health of your entire body. And the habits that protect your teeth may be the same habits that extend your life. Today, we'll look at 3 Japanese dental experts, each approaching oral health from a different angle, and what their combined wisdom reveals about keeping your teeth, your gums, and your overall health strong for decades to come. Part 1. Dr. Etsuro Watanabe, Real Food as Daily Medicine. Dr. Watanabe was born in 1924. He began studying dentistry as a teenager and eventually opened his own clinic in the small village of Oshino in 1953. For more than 7 decades, he served the same community. Even in his late 90s, he continued seeing patients independently without assistance. But perhaps the most telling part of his story doesn't happen inside the clinic at all. It happens in his garden. Dr. Watanabe grows his own blueberries, beans, tomatoes, and large green squash. At first glance, this might seem like an endearing hobby for an elderly man. Look closer, and it reveals a philosophy of health that modern dental science is now backing with hard evidence. Blueberries are packed with polyphenols, plant compounds that have been shown in research published in the Journal of Dental Research to slow the growth of harmful oral bacteria and reduce inflammatory responses in gum tissue. They're also rich in vitamin C, which is essential for collagen production. Collagen is the structural protein that holds your gum tissue firmly attached to your teeth. When collagen breaks down, often due to chronic inflammation or poor nutrition, gums begin to recede. They pull away from the teeth, exposing sensitive root surfaces and creating pockets where bacteria can flourish unchecked. Beans offer plant-based protein, fiber, magnesium, and zinc. The gums are not static tissue. They are constantly renewing themselves, rebuilding connective fibers, and mounting immune defenses against bacterial invaders. This renewal process requires amino acids, the building blocks of protein. Without adequate protein in the diet, gum tissue weakens over time, healing slows, and the body loses its capacity to fight off low-grade infections like gum disease. Beans are also low in sugar, which means they don't feed the harmful bacteria responsible for tooth decay and periodontal inflammation. Tomatoes supply both vitamin C and lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that has been studied for its anti-inflammatory properties in oral tissue. Research in the Journal of Periodontology has pointed to lycopene's potential role in reducing inflammatory markers in the gums, helping calm the immune system's overreaction that often makes gum disease worse. Squash and fibrous vegetables add another overlooked benefit. They stimulate saliva production during chewing. This might not sound impressive, but saliva is one of the most underrated defenses your mouth has. It neutralizes the acids that bacteria produce after you eat. It washes away food debris. It contains antimicrobial enzymes that actively suppress the growth of harmful microbes. Every time you chew something real and fibrous, you're essentially activating your mouth's own cleaning and defense system. Together, the foods Dr. Watanabe grows and eats target three of the primary drivers of gum disease: chronic inflammation, bacterial overgrowth, and tissue breakdown. His kitchen, in many ways, is an extension of his clinic. Part 2. Dr. Katsu Takahashi, The Science of What's Possible. While Dr. Watanabe demonstrates what consistent daily habits can achieve over a lifetime, another Japanese dental researcher is asking a far more radical question. What if teeth that have already been lost could be grown back? Dr. Katsu Takahashi is an oral surgeon whose team made a remarkable discovery. Human beings, like most mammals, are genetically capable of developing only two sets of teeth. But the reason we stop at two is not random. It's controlled by a specific protein called USAG1, which acts as a biological brake on further tooth development. By blocking this protein in animal studies, Dr. Takahashi's team was able to stimulate the growth of new teeth. Clinical trials exploring whether this approach can be applied safely to humans are now underway. This sounds like science fiction, but the most important takeaway from Dr. Takahashi's work isn't the technology itself, it's what the technology depends on to work. New tissue, whether grown naturally or stimulated through advanced medicine, cannot thrive in a chronically inflamed environment. If gum disease is left untreated, no regenerative procedure can fully compensate for the damage being done beneath the surface. This brings us to a crucial insight that dental science has made increasingly clear over the past 2 decades. Gum disease is not merely a local problem in the mouth, it is a systemic condition. When gums are chronically inflamed, bacteria and inflammatory signals can enter the bloodstream through the damaged tissue. Studies have linked severe periodontal disease with elevated risk of cardiovascular disease, complications in diabetes management, and other systemic health issues. The mouth is not isolated from the rest of the body. It is connected to everything. So what can people do right now to create the healthiest possible environment in their mouths? Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which have been extensively studied for their anti-inflammatory effects. Research published in the Journal of Periodontology has shown that omega-3 intake is associated with reduced gum inflammation and healthier periodontal tissue. These are not marginal effects. For people with early-stage gum disease, dietary interventions involving omega-3 rich foods may meaningfully slow disease progression. Leafy greens and vegetables supply vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that regulate immune function and reduce oxidative stress throughout the body, including in gum tissue. Vitamins K, A, and C all play roles in maintaining the integrity of soft tissue and bone, two components that gum disease actively destroys. Eggs, tofu, fish, and legumes provide the amino acids necessary for rebuilding gum ligaments, the connective tissue that anchors each tooth into its socket in the jawbone. These ligaments are under constant mechanical stress and require ongoing renewal. Without adequate dietary protein, that renewal process falters. Chewing whole, real foods matters more than most people realize. The act of chewing stimulates both jaw muscle function and saliva flow. A diet dominated by soft processed foods reduces chewing demands and over time can contribute to decreased saliva production and reduced bone stimulation in the jaw. The physical act of eating real food is itself a form of oral exercise. And there's one more factor that Dr. Takahashi's broader research points to: regular physical movement. Exercise improves cardiovascular circulation, and better circulation means more oxygen and immune cells reaching the gum tissue. The gums, like all living tissue, thrive when they are well supplied. The future of dentistry may involve regrowing lost teeth, but that future still rests on the same foundation as the present: a mouth that is healthy enough to support new growth. Part 3. Dr. Yasuko Takayuki, the prevention system that actually works. If Dr. Watanabe represents the power of lifelong habits and Dr. Takahashi represents the cutting edge of dental regeneration, then Dr. Yasuko Takayuki represents something equally vital: the everyday system that keeps teeth safe for decades before any of that ever becomes necessary. Dr. Takayuki is an internationally recognized speaker who lectures worldwide on preventive dentistry. Her framework draws heavily from the Scandinavian dental model, particularly Sweden's, which has achieved some of the lowest rates of tooth loss in the developed world. Her central message is both simple and radical in its implications. Dentistry should be about preventing problems, not just repairing them after the fact. Here's the reality that most people don't appreciate. Cavities don't appear overnight. Gum disease doesn't develop in a week. These conditions build slowly, often over years, fed by a persistent layer of bacteria called biofilm, or dental plaque, that forms continuously on the surfaces of teeth and along the gum line. When biofilm is allowed to accumulate undisturbed, it triggers inflammatory responses in the gum tissue. Over time, that inflammation erodes the structures that hold teeth in place: the gums, the periodontal ligaments, and the surrounding bone. By the time symptoms become noticeable, bleeding gums, sensitivity, loose teeth, significant damage has often already occurred. This is why Dr. Takayuki places such enormous emphasis on consistency over intensity. It's not about doing heroic things occasionally. It's about doing the right things every single day. Her home care recommendations are deceptively simple. Brush gently with a soft bristled toothbrush, paying careful attention to the gum line where plaque accumulates most aggressively. Use floss or interdental brushes daily to clean the spaces between teeth, areas that a toothbrush simply cannot reach. These are not revolutionary ideas, but the research is clear. The people who do these things consistently, day after day, for years and decades, preserve far more of their natural teeth than those who don't. Professional dental cleanings are equally important. Even the most diligent home brusher cannot fully remove calculus, hardened plaque, once it has mineralized onto tooth surfaces. Regular professional cleanings remove this buildup before it can trigger deeper periodontal damage. Diet in Dr. Takayuki's framework is not separate from dental care. It is part of it. Frequent consumption of sugary snacks and drinks creates a constant acid environment in the mouth, feeding the bacteria responsible for both cavities and gum disease. Every time you eat or drink something sugary, bacteria produce acid for roughly 20 to 30 minutes afterward. If you're snacking constantly throughout the day, your mouth never fully recovers. Saliva needs time between meals to neutralize those acids and remineralize tooth enamel. Reducing snack frequency, even without eliminating sugar entirely, gives the mouth the recovery windows it needs. Drinking water throughout the day helps maintain the salivary flow that protects teeth. Eating whole, minimally processed foods rather than soft, sticky, refined ones keeps the oral environment cleaner between brushings. What Dr. Takayuki's approach ultimately teaches is that oral health is not a destination. It is an ongoing process, a system of small repeated actions that compound over decades. The dentist who cleans your teeth twice a year is a partner in that process, but the daily habits are yours alone to maintain. 3 dentists, 3 different areas of focus. But step back, and the message is remarkably unified. Dr. Watanabe shows us that longevity in dental health and perhaps in life is built through simple, consistent habits sustained over a lifetime. Real food, physical activity, and daily care add up to something extraordinary. Dr. Takahashi reveals that even the most advanced future therapies depend on a healthy oral environment as their foundation. Prevention is not the alternative to innovation, it is innovation's prerequisite. Dr. Takayuki provides the practical system, the daily routines, the dietary adjustments, the professional care that actually keeps gums and teeth intact through the decades. What all 3 share is a respect for the mouth as something more than a collection of teeth to be fixed when broken. The mouth is a living system. It is connected to the immune system, the cardiovascular system, and the body's capacity to fight chronic disease. It is also, as Dr. Watanabe's long life suggests, one of the best places to begin when you are serious about protecting your health for the long term. The gum recession that feels slow and invisible is happening faster than most people realize, but so is the protection that comes from eating well, moving regularly, brushing carefully, and never skipping that appointment. Small actions, enormous consequences. Start today